I need you to stop yawning.
I hate him.
Yes, sir! Oh my God! Shut up. Ready? Obie, we're recording.
I know. I said shit.
Ready? All right, Monty. All right, real fast, Monty, take that out. Also, y'all should know that if there's anything that you need to have taken out, you could stop. No pressure, and just be like, actually, let me try it again, Monty. Can you take that out starting from here, and then we can keep going. All right.
Hi,
there's
Monty.
somebody watching
Shout out
us
to
right
Monty
now.
to God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shout out wherever you
No,
are.
he just listens. He just listens and edits. He don't.
Okay.
We don't subject him to this twice. All right, ready? I'm gonna start. Yes, sir. All right, y'all, and we are back. We are back. I am back. I feel naked a little bit. Shanti's not here, but she's here at the end of the episode. Surprise, surprise. The girl can't stay away. Episode 348. I'm thinking about naming it Money, Morals, and Culture. That is a line in Kendrick's new diss track to corny ass Drake. And I am joined by two very good friends of mine who I've known for quite some time now. I was thinking about that the other day, like how long I known them cats. Anyway, I would like to introduce the great Obie and Naana of the Workbaes podcast.
Hello.
Thank you for saying my name first.
Obie
I
and
appreciate
Naana
that.
are here. Does everybody always say Naana and Obie?
No, because the podcast is called Naana and Obie.
It is. It is Naana and Obie. That's why I said that.
I'm so
Damn,
sorry.
see, Naana took
dramatic.
offense to that. I was messing around.
I actually did. I just thought it was very corny of you to say that.
Well, getting
Damn,
right
I see
to
how
it.
I see how this podcast gonna go, man. I'm getting teamed up on already. Here we go.
I did not say anything to you.
Oh God!
Antoinette, I'm
helping
gonna
you
need you
get
to be
your
real
angles
neutral
right.
this episode.
I
Isn't
will
she
do my
always?
best.
Yeah.
I think
She is always.
I think I
yeah.
give good Libra energy where I'm
You're
pretty.
right. You are Miss Libra. That's
Oh,
true.
are you
biased.
the scales?
Yes.
Is that you? Okay,
Yeah.
girl.
We have two Capricorns on.
Yes.
Shanti
Yes,
always
ma'am.
likes to understand what kind of signs we're dealing with. So here we go. Two Capricorns.
What's Shanti's sign?
She's a
Savage
Sag.
Sag.
Yes.
Oh, Savage Sag. Okay. All right.
She's a savage.
So she's like in
Sag.
between us, basically. Libra, isn't it Sag right after Libra?
Yeah.
No,
Not
Sag
my
is
bad.
No,
Scorpio.
Scorpio. My
Yeah.
bad. My bad.
Yes, she's a big time Sag over there. But anyway, how y'all doing? Thank you for joining me. Thank you
Thanks
for being
for
guest
having
host.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on.
Really miss the fact that Shanti's not here, but I love that we're taking, we're just sitting in for her, keeping her seat warm. But yeah, thank you for thinking of us.
Of course. I was like, of course, got to get Naana and Obie on because people need to be listening to Workbaes Pod. It's very important. I would like for y'all to tell the folks what is Workbaes Pod? Is it a pod about work? Who wants to hear about work?
The
Is it a
segue
pod about
complete.
dating somebody at work?
Nana,
What
go
is
ahead.
it?
You got it. You got it.
What? How do I?
Nana's
how do I
all things
describe
lead in, so I usually let her
our
knock this
podcast.
out.
So the Workbaes Pod with Naana and Obie, we drop every Monday, and it's a podcast between two former workbaes. Obie and I worked together at a nonprofit in 2018, and kind of quickly became really close friends. The story is I did have a crush on him, but he stunned the fuck out of me, and so
Wow.
I
That's not
realized
bad.
after we became friends, it's the truth is the truth. Like let's
Wow.
not bullshit.
Wow.
But
We're not 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this on the pod all the time, but we became really fast friends. And then once we became friends, I realized I could never date him. Like he's literally my brother.
Girl, I wonder why.
Top
I'll
level.
tell you why.
I said, I wonder why.
Oh, you wonder why? I was like, okay.
I'm playing.
I'm
Obie's
being
great.
quiet over here.
Obie's great.
I'm being
Obie's
quiet over
great.
here.
He is so wonderful, just not a partner for me, but a truly one of my very best friends. And yeah, so we started the pod actually talking about a book. We didn't start the pod that way. That's how we became friends. And then that kind of delved into other conversations, and we're like, it's been really impactful for us to kind of converse and talk about these topical things that are impacting us. I wonder if other people would be interested in these conversations. So we took it to the mic, And Workbay is kind of just two 30-something-year-olds trying to figure out this life thing together, supporting each other on this journey, and kind of bringing that to the greater community that we're building. So
that was a wonderful description of Workbay.
Yeah, I feel she left some stuff out.
Oh, brother, they have to listen. I'm not gonna give them all the goods.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was Workbay is also a beautiful place where we don't often get it. There's not that many spaces where you have a man, a woman in conversation that is not a combative. You can't tell right now, but it's not combative. They are truly listening to each other. Yeah, truly in support of one another. But when you're best friends, sometimes you're just gonna be at each other. Yes, I definitely understand that.
I was just about to say.
And everybody's like, y'all, you guys are, I don't know, Antoinette's mean to her. And I'm like, yo, if you could see us, we're having a great fucking time. This is actually the way that we
love each other. Exactly.
Trying to do better. I also know we shaded Obie a little bit. I'm going to say something. Maybe we'll take it out of Obie's uncomfortable. I did date Obie. And Obie is one of those people that you can date and still bring his ass on a podcast and be friends with and root for and be in conversation with. And I can trust him behind a mic. So that should say something about how wonderful of a human being he is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So that wasn't real shade. That's just playful poking.
And because of what do y'all call that? Y'all dating. Talking. I was blessed to meet Antoinette, and we talked about this last week about how I've acquired a lot of Obie's exes. This is one of my favorite ones.
I was so feeling about
that. Thanos out here with every woman I've dated. Just collected them as your besties.
The one thing I will say, we talk like. Literally, there's an episode coming up. We haven't aired it yet, but we talk about like what's something that we both have like good taste in. Obie is a really like the women he's dated.
Because I'm friends with Naana, I have met some of the women that you've dated. And I'm like, oh, she's dope. And she's like, oh yeah, I met her through Obie. He was dating her, and I was like, oh god damn,
they're just great. And
so we be pulling them.
They really do.
Yo, what did I sign up for tonight,
and
man?
If he doesn't keep up, I will. So if you want to meet me, just date Obie, and eventually we'll become friends.
All right, there we go.
I'm sure it'll happen. All right.
But on that note, though, hold on, Antoinette, you can't get our way too far. I got caught up on the past few episodes around the way curls. Apparently, you found your bootcut king. That's what I have heard. Look at that smile that just came out.
I do not talk about him in detail.
Oh, not detail. We're gonna respect your privacy.
We're having hard times right now. He's a Knicks fan.
I was actually really concerned for
I don't know if it's
I was about to
work.
say. She said we're not gonna get deep, and she got deep. It was some sports shit.
Girl,
you said 6 and 9.
I don't know if it's going to work, if I'm being completely honest.
I thought, are there 9 games?
No, that is something.
Exactly. That was a joke. Okay, all right. I was very confused.
For everybody who doesn't follow me on social media, I said Sixers and 9. And obviously there's not 9 games in a playoff series.
I just wanted to make sure. I was like, am I missing something?
I love your naivete.
I need to take the opportunity to say that it would be a very different series if the refs did not steal game 2.
Oh, Lord.
Excuse me.
That evened out. We're going to start with all that.
That did not even out. I'm not going to go into this shit today. I don't feel like it.
Oh, boy. Let's not stress you out. Let's not stress you out.
Naana, do me a favor. Turn your volume down just a tad because you're getting in the red. Do you know how to do that on your mic? Anyway.
Yes.
Because that's something that Monty can't fix once it's
because I'm a little
distorted.
Loud.
You're fine. You're fine. No, we're doing fine. He doesn't like Birkenstocks though. Found that out the other day.
Oh,
and I said,
but I feel like that's something that you can kind of, get him into.
No, I'm wearing Birkenstocks all the time.
Is that a main part of your wardrobe? Like you wear them shits all the time?
She lives
all day, every day. I'm Birkenstock bae.
Yeah.
Okay.
He apparently didn't know. He didn't know, and I was like, "Well, now you do."
Yeah.
And he doesn't wear boot cut. So here we are. We're
I did
we're
not
at a
see that
crossroads.
coming.
What I will
I did
say
not see
is the
that coming.
sensibilities are still there, and so
Absolutely.
that should let everybody know you don't necessarily need the uniform
Nana
as
has met
long
him.
as the
Nana-
man has the
okay,
quality.
clearly she has. Okay, because all right.
He
all
is
right.
a good
Okay.
boot cut king man in the heart,
Yes,
In the
but a Knicks
heart.
fan. So we're.
Yeah,
these
y'all
people
gonna
don't
work
have
on
nothing
that.
to do with y'all relationship. I
But
mean,
I
if
will-
anything, this just
Hey.
makes it more interesting. No,
Well, I will say he has left me alone about that loss. He really, because I gave him
he's
one
a better
look.
man than me. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
He's a
He
better
was
man than
like,
me.
I've let you live. And I said, because I got smart with him today, like poking fun at him about something. He was like, I let you cook on the
Oh,
Sixers
yeah.
loss. And
I
I
need you
I
to
shut up
relax.
fast. I said,
Real fast. Humble yourself. Humble yourself.
because I've been having a hard time over here. And he said, you lucky that you got shit going on, because I was going to flame your ass. I said, all right, well, thank
And
you.
the flamethrower came out.
Care and consideration.
Yes,
Thank
consider
you.
it. But no, we're doing all right over here. Shout out to you. You know who you are.
I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
In other news,
You've done that a few times on our pod.
Whatever.
Nana, all
We
them
got
little
through
boys you be dating, you
Ooh,
talk
no,
about them quite a bit.
boys.
I heard, I listened, and it was like,
Uh-oh.
girl, shut up.
Ruh-roh.
Wow.
Listen,
This
girl, don't be
community.
telling everybody now.
It's hard sometimes. You get a little excited, and then they
Yeah.
quickly disappoint you.
Exactly. Exactly. It took me a minute to say anything. I was like,
No, that's fair. That's probably. I'll write that down somewhere.
yeah, you got to. You got to keep it in the tuck. Speaking of relationships,
Oh, boy.
I would love to shout out my beautiful friends, Nas and Arlene. Congratulations on your nuptials.
Woo! That wedding did look really beautiful.
It was
I
such
don't
a
know, I'm gonna
beautiful
clap for 'em
wedding.
anyway. Yep.
My
Really, really lovely
Nigerian and my
people.
Haitian got married in Mexico. Who knew?
Oh,
Who knew?
I said, wow, what a
I
time.
love that for them. Yeah.
I think their goal was to have a small wedding by doing it away. And
Destination.
then 200 and some people flew out and said, we coming.
Really?
how much they're
100
loved.
people?
Yes.
Damn.
When I say the aunties from Nigeria came,
oh,
that's
that was
how
going to
you-
happen.
but
That
they
was
were
gonna
shocked.
happen.
They were shocked.
Yeah.
And when
That
I
is
tell
amazing.
you, it was a beautiful time. I reconnected with Chi, with Teddy, with Stacks, all the people, Sunday, all the people that I love, that I have missed so much. It's not even
Yeah.
funny. They're just being caught up with life. And so it was an honor and a privilege to even be invited. I really was shocked. I was like, I can't believe y'all wanted me here.
Oh,
It
stop
was beautiful. I'm so happy for them. The bride, if y'all did not see my stories, stunning.
so beautiful. So
Gorgeous.
beautiful.
Just
Nas also, he
gorgeous.
looked really handsome.
Nas looked wonderful. He
He
danced
did.
down the aisle.
Yes, he did.
When I tell you, when she came down the aisle, he grabbed her and kissed her. We was like, you gotta wait.
no,
But he
don't.
was he
No,
was
he
so
don't.
Let
excited.
my man have that.
Aw.
Yes.
He was so excited
I
and
love
so could not wait to be married to this woman. And I remember him in the beginning, him telling me that he started dating this girl that he liked,
Wow.
that she seemed different. She's going to be a doctor. And I remember when he was telling me that he was going to go meet her father. So then to see it all
come together that, yeah.
in the way that it did,
Oh,
it was
that's so
just,
beautiful.
it just made my heart flutter.
Oh, I'm
And
so happy
so,
that you went and that you had such a
I'm
great
so
time.
happy that I went, and
Yeah.
it was wonderful. So congratulations to y'all. I miss them so much, and I have to. It reminded me of the importance of having good male friends.
Yes.
In your life.
Yep.
Who don't want to fuck, who don't want nothing from you. They just rock with you. They just want to set, like the way that it reignite. They are tearing me up about the Sixers.
Sure.
We going back and forth. I'm
Yeah.
like, your team is the Lakers. Y'all got swept.
Yeah, they can't talk.
What we
They can't
talking
talk.
about? Hush.
Gentlemen,
I mean,
gentlemen,
I wish I
without
cared
going back
about
and
any of
forth.
these things.
Now Kendrick dropped again. Now we sending the lyrics back and forth, dissecting it. It's just, I miss that energy so much, and I so appreciate it, because for so long they were the men in my life. They really showed up for me in that way, to be like, you good, especially during the pandemic, just made sure I was good. And so I love them. Watching them mature, watching them become men, start their families. It's just beautiful to see. So
that's amazing.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. It is very crucial. All women should have men in their lives that don't want to fuck them. It's very important.
Still respect them.
Yes.
Who knew?
And like, no, not even just adore. They love you.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you feel that and you were able to kind of reignite that. I won't say reignite because I don't think that
it was. No, we were like I would see them like once a year at PVO.
Oh wow!
Oh, I thought you got up with them more often than that.
All the time, yeah.
And the way y'all didn't invite me to any of these events, also, by the way.
Okay, the links will be shared.
Not the two sides. Yeah.
Because what is he talking?
Y'all be going to
functions
event. And I don't even get invites.
Okay. All right. Like I said, the links will be shared. It's fine.
Oh.
It's also hard. We were single women. We weren't trying to show it with a guy on our arm.
Right. They always try to be like the big nigga around. It's like, bro,
right.
back up.
Obie, you kind of.
Wow. So I'm not invited to functions with y'all.
Default.
No, you could come.
The way I invite y'all to anything I got going.
You have never invited me to anything ever since we stopped dating.
You came to the game night. You
thank you.
What else?
Thank you,
what else
Naana.
have you invited?
You did not invite me to that.
Yes, I did.
Naana invited me to that.
But by proxy of him.
Yeah.
He invited me.
No, he invited you. And you invited me. I wasn't invited by you.
You sure I invite you? I might pull some receipts, man.
I don't remember that.
Just do a better job.
Dar's been on the podcast too. I might check in with him. Like, yo, let me see that invite list.
Go ahead. I don't care. Matter of fact, Dar might have invited me. I don't know who invited me, but I'm sure it wasn't you.
Man.
So we all need to collectively
don't get in trouble on this podcast, Obie.
What's that?
No smoke.
Don't get in trouble on this podcast.
No trouble.
Oh God.
I come in peace. I come in peace.
All right, y'all. We're gonna get into the episode. So, but first, I'm gonna try to do this. Shanti does it better. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share. Round the Way Curls. That's how we don't have any money for marketing. We don't market very well, I don't think. And just Instagram and the socials. So it's really word of mouth.
Really?
What ads we got?
I thought somebody's wanting. Every time I listen to your podcast, I'm hearing this company, that company.
Oh, that's an ad on the podcast. I'm talking about marketing money to promote our podcast.
Oh,
we don't have.
Okay.
So we rely on word of mouth. We rely on the community to share. I know the last couple of episodes, a lot of people loved Crystal and Jade. They loved dating coach Anwar. So please share these things with your friends. Tell them to check us out. And that would be appreciated. Also, if you want to see Nana's wonderful hair, her fashionable glasses, a little bit of cleavage, Obie's full luscious beard, hat and glasses with a nice hoodie that matches, my Run DMC t-shirt, and fresh lip gloss, come on over. Come on over to Patreon where you can see us laugh. You can see us possibly cry sometimes. We don't know. You can.
It may happen.
Might hear Blue or see Blue in the background. She be a bad. I'm watching her. I don't know what she's doing over there. But anyway, shout out to the new patrons: Gerald, Olivia, Destiny, Shadea, Melissa, and Hayes is back. Hayes, where'd you go? I didn't even know you left. But Hayes came on back because I didn't said your name multiple times, so I know you're not new. But shout out to you.
Might be another Hayes.
You know who you are.
Welcome.
Welcome on back. All right. First up, we have hot shit. Nana, you can sit this one out.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Or I'm here for all the people who don't care.
Wow.
Collectively.
All right.
This is an Around the Way Curls podcast.
We just don't understand what's going on.
Well, sit it out.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar, K. Dot, has dropped 2 back-to-back diss records against Drake.
Back-to-back.
Now, Drake has been sub-dissing him. He's been acting up now. We're not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it right now because, as I said, pop culture is dedicated to this. I know Shanti said she was going to take a break, but sis hit me up and said, I'm trying to hop back on and talk about K. Dot.
I got
and if you're on Patreon, you'll see that she actually dressed for the occasion in a full Kung Fu Kenny outfit.
Oh, shit. Okay, I got to see that.
She's crazy. She's crazy.
So was she a big Kendrick fan?
It was like, she's a huge Kendrick fan. I mean, that's her guy.
So she was ready.
Every Spotify and rap, Kendrick is first.
Is number one. I love it. I love it.
But for hot shit, Obie, I asked you before the podcast. You didn't know about this, so I want to put everybody on to Dissect Podcast.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you don't know about Dissect Podcast, there is a white man somewhere doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
I'm serious. The way he sits there and studies albums. So he has seasons for his podcast. Comes out with seasons. Season 1 was on To Pimp a Butterfly, where he goes through track by track and dissects every line. Jesus. And then the full album.
Oh, okay.
Then season 2 was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Season 3 was Channel Orange and Blonde. Then he did a mini series for the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Season 4 was Flower Boy by Tyler the Creator. Season 5 was Damn. Season 6 was Lemonade by Beyonce.
Okay.
The current season,
track by track, he goes all the way through.
I had it.
Oh wow.
And then I forgot it.
I got to pull him up or check him out, I should say.
Track by track. Like, wow. He's very big on TikTok as well.
Okay.
Yes. He has the current season. I mean, he's up to season 12, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, he's on MF Doom right now. Like he does so much. He's actually putting a hold on MF Doom. He said, emergency. He said, I'm putting a poll up, y'all. Do you want me to stop MF Doom, put a pause on it, and do a full episode on these 2 diss tracks? And like 99% was like, yes.
Yes.
So this podcast comes out on Monday, Tuesday, tomorrow, y'all. If you're listening on Monday, Tuesday, the episodes will drop. I cannot wait to go. He, to me, is better than Genius.
Wow.
By far. He gets so much deeper because he's going into the producers. He's going sometimes Greek mythology. He is crazy, smart, and gifted. I don't know who is on his team. He has to have a lot of backing.
Yeah,
but
to research all of this.
That's the hot shit that I want to plug. Because what an amazing resource. If you really love art, if you really love music, and you really want to appreciate it on another level, that's where you want to go. And he says our seasons include forensic dissections of music, lyrics, and themes. And it really is like that. It's so detailed. So
will he know that in what's the word? Intricacies between
the rap beef?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm sure. Yeah.
He's a hip hop I know he is.
Because that's the thing. I didn't know that these men didn't like each other until all of this happened.
Well, if you ask Drake gonna say he don't know. He didn't know either, but he been sub-dissing him the whole goddamn time. He's just a hater.
Yikes. You know another really good podcast? Have you heard the Big Hit Show?
No, put
Antoinette?
us on. Tell
also
us.
Another, because I listened to them, I think it was late last year. They have a whole season where they break down the production and background of To Pimp a Butterfly. So also another one I would highly recommend. Not so much from like a lyrical standpoint, but just the whole project itself, how it came together. They do interviews with the producers. Also really good listen. Yeah, it's called The Big Hit Show.
Okay, and that's everywhere you can get your podcast?
Yep, all of them.
Dope.
All of them. Yep.
Dope. All right, y'all. Well, that's for the hip hop. That's all the hot shit I have.
So we weren't going to get into it. No, you're doing with Shanti.
We got a whole little thing.
Because I have thoughts, but I'm gonna keep them to myself.
No, don't keep it to. She went on for like 35 minutes.
No, keep that. She got that.
I got a 35-minute segment with Shorty. Maybe you have to save that for Workbae Pod.
Yes, I won't.
Maybe
have
the
a lot.
exclusive.
Nana,
If y'all want to hear what Obie has to say, go over there.
I won't be doing that,
Obie,
but I will give you more of the space to
tag me in, Obie. Tag me in.
Internet, you can always come over to our podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Like, let's go. Let's talk about it.
And you can talk about this.
She said the basketball things.
You guys can do all of that.
I have one question and one question only. Because it seems like the biracial community was taking some hits this week. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I didn't. I'm not a Drake biracial.
Okay. I saw you repost, which is crazy because I actually listened to some of her music. Madison, I think her name is.
Madison.
Yeah, you reposted her thing where she
McFerrin.
said the same thing. Oh, so you're not.
They tried to come at her. I was like, do you know her fucking daddy is? Her daddy is Bobby McFerrin.
I saw
Have
that
you
in the
lost your
comments.
mind?
People don't be
What?
knowing.
Shut
People
up.
don't be
I'm
knowing.
not a
People don't be
Drake
knowing.
biracial is
No, and there's a difference. Shanti and I
insane.
talked about that. No, there really is a
Wow.
difference. It's like J. Cole, Ebro, like it's a different kind of biracials. We talk about this. It's tricky because
It's tricky.
you can
It's
have
tricky.
a Zendaya biracial, right? Where she's not trying to be tough, she's not trying to be hard, but nobody's asked her to be that because she's a woman. You know,
Yes.
like she's never needed to be that.
Sure.
She's just Zendaya. She's
Yep.
dating her Spider-Man white boyfriend, and we
Yes.
love her.
Yes.
We like Zendaya. You are unproblematic. You stay out the way. You are authentically you, and we love it. There's space for it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you still acknowledge that you are a Black woman.
Yeah.
You feel like a part of the community, but it
Does
doesn't
she?
feel forced.
Okay.
Does she?
To many.
No, I didn't
yes.
say that from a point of like trying to come for her. I'm just asking. Like, is she
Yeah, the answer
loud
is
with her
yes.
blackness and
conversation-
proudness?
Yes.
Yes.
She
Okay.
yes,
All
she
right,
talks
that's it.
about
I
it
wasn't
quite a
coming
bit.
for her. I wasn't coming for her.
Then you have a Drake. Tricky.
Uh-oh.
We don't believe you. We
Cosplay.
don't
Okay.
believe your facade.
Okay. Okay.
We understand the pressures that
I'm
you're
seeing
under
the
to be
delineation
hard.
now. Okay.
And
Okay.
we're not asking for that. Just make us dance, be talented, and stop.
Is there okay, you know what? You got you
What?
and Shanti are talking. I just think that we should extend some grace. There's a lot there.
I think he got enough grace.
There's a lot
from
more.
Oh,
Oprah.
okay. I mean, for you to as a non-biracial, I don't know what the qualms that come with that you have to combat with yourself maybe sometimes by coming from two different communities or wanting to project a certain lifestyle
That's
that
the problem.
is
Stop
not authentic
projecting.
to you.
Stop.
But maybe those are pressures that he feels like he needs
Of course. And that's why Kendrick is calling him in.
to. Oh, so the
And saying-
Euphoria was a call in, not a call out.
Of course, I don't want to
Might
give
have been
it
a little bit
away.
of both. It might have been a little bit of both.
Sometimes you need some tough love. I don't want to
Okay,
give it away,
okay,
but
okay.
Shanti has a full theory. She
Okay.
said that's not a disc record, that is a love song.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So you go.
Okay.
Listen, this is a good intro.
I'm
I'm looking
excited
forward
to
to hearing
listen.
this.
Yes,
No,
That's the
for
most
sure.
loving thing he could have done. Was
For
free
sure.
that
Well,
man.
we'll leave it at that because
Okay.
next week
That's
we're
it.
going to talk about this the rest
Exactly.
of the
Yes,
time.
no. Yeah.
But yes, the biracials are down bad. I'm not one of them. I pray that I never am.
The Drake biracial.
Right. And I
Specifically.
pray that I
Biracials are
never
down bad.
am. I pray that we
Okay.
never are. And if I ever am, I pray that somebody gathers me.
Oh,
So
with
I can
love.
look
We
at
can
Yeah,
get
myself.
you've
together.
got
Yes.
some good people. I'm
Yes.
sure
You know?
you would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
way
yes,
that Crystal Jade and them will gather me quickly
yes. In a heartbeat.
and already do. And I'm like, I didn't even do that. Let me live. Anyway, let's take a break. Let's pay some bills. I'll try to do my Shanti. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Ale.
There goes the harmonies.
All right.
Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
Allergies. My bad.
You good. I have a clip that I need to get. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for you to get in to dissect. You're going to be like, oh,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check it for sure.
it's so good.
That sounds interesting.
It's so good. Let me see.
Clearly, the arms.
Okay.
Is
Oh,
this
boy.
what you're calling from one of your listeners?
No.
No, that's
That's
the
the next
clip.
episode. This is the clip.
Oh,
for
my
Power.
bad. Okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
my knees.
All right, you ready? I feel so unprepared
Yes,
for
ma'am.
this. How do you say Hala Rarit? Okay.
Did she say it? Can you hear it somewhere before you?
Yeah, let me.
Oh, is that YouTube link you have up there?
Yeah, let me listen to it. Hala.
Oh, I hope this wasn't homework that I didn't do because I didn't watch this clip, but I'm sure I can hopefully still talk on it.
No, this is the interview she said she did. So we're not even
okay.
talking about this.
Okay, all right.
1.4 million.
Since when were you a knuckle cracker, or has this always been you and I just didn't know?
Always, yeah.
Yeah?
I don't
Okay.
do it.
I've
in
noticed it
public
more
a lot,
recently.
but
I've noticed it more recently.
not you paying attention.
I pay attention. Even though you be coming from me, I still pay attention.
Never.
Oh, let me hear something real fast. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, here we go. Okay, she's about to say her name. Hala Halabi. Woo, that was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Hala Halabi. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let me close this out. All right.
And we are back. So politics as usual. Of course. First, I want to say that I talked last week. I think it was last week. I called in. I really, really wanted to interview someone from the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee. I am so happy to say that I reached out to them and they agreed. And
That's
so
amazing.
you will hear that. You will hear
Okay.
that. But first, I want us to just give a little bit of an update on what is going on in Gaza. And then we'll get into that. So, yes, very excited about that. So first up, updates on Gaza. So there are airstrikes happening in Rafah. Just a gentle reminder that Rafah is the most southern city. It's right by the border of Egypt, where 1.4 million Palestinians are currently sheltering because they have been forcefully removed from their homes and told that that is the place to go to seek shelter and refuge by the Israeli military. 35,000 people, 50% women and children, have been killed, and 78,000 are wounded. They are still fighting famine. They are still fighting serious humanitarian crisis. I mean, lack of medical supplies, lack of antibiotics, lack of everything any infrastructure, anything that you could possibly imagine. It's very interesting. I was listening to Democracy Now! And Hala Halabi is the first U.S. diplomat to quit, to resign over the genocide in Gaza. And she names it just as that.
She's the first in as long as it's been. That's wild.
She's the first.
Wow.
U.S. diplomat.
U.S.
Yeah,
diplomat.
U.S. Yeah. Damn.
So first, for folks, I want to make sure that everybody knows what a diplomat is, what a diplomat does. So a diplomat is a government official who represents their country's interests and promotes the country's policies in international relations. Diplomats work to maintain positive relationships between countries and negotiate agreements on a variety of issues, such as trade, security, and human rights. They also send reporting back, U.S. diplomats send reporting back to Washington to help Washington make informed decisions, hopefully the best decisions, when it comes to foreign policy. So a lot of people see diplomats as folks who spin the narrative, right?
So figureheads
for Washington. Hala Halabi was not interested in being a figurehead.
Clearly.
She very bravely said on Democracy Now! That she felt that we should have conditions for military aid to Israel. Absolutely. She said that the way in which we are approaching this, as the United States wants to call it, conflict, has failed. It is not working. She was very outspoken about that. And she said that if we were to have conditions on the U.S. military aid to Israel, it would be a good show of faith to our Arab allies who could then possibly use diplomacy to negotiate with Hamas. Yeah. Because her questioning was, well, we're not seeing the release of hostages, which is something that we talk about constantly on the show. What is the goal? Because this is not working. I want to play a clip. I will preface that the clip is almost 3 minutes long, but I think it's really important to play it so that we can get a general idea of the angle that she's coming from, of her stance, and why she did what she did.
And real quick before you play it,
Go ahead.
No, my fault. I just want to
No.
I guess even for the listeners, what's the context? Like, where is this that we're hearing her now? Is this after she's quit? Is this before
This
she
is after
quit? Is
she's
this
quit.
okay?
This has just happened, and
I
she's
see.
being interviewed by Democracy Now!
Okay, got it.
Okay. Thank you for setting that up.
Clearly, the arms flow continues. Washington Post, New York Times reporting on, the well over 100 arms transfers that are made or arms sales just under the threshold that would require Congress to approve it. Absolutely. You make a very good point, Eamon. Right under the threshold, willfully enabling the crimes that are happening in Gaza. The bottom line to me, and what it appeared like to me from within the system, and also as a spokesperson who was reading the talking points, is that fundamentally an Israeli life was not worth, or a Palestinian life was not worth the same as an Israeli life. And it's heartbreaking for me to say that as someone that has proudly served my country for 18 years. This news but I read the talking points that we were supposed to promote on Arab media. A lot of them were dehumanizing to Palestinians. Also, as a diplomat, I could not help but be concerned about the influence of special interest, of the arms lobby, of other special interests that serve foreign governments. It is very, very frustrating when you're working on a daily basis on American foreign policy, but you know that no matter what you do and no matter what very senior officials in the department are doing, and despite all of the recommendations going up to Washington from the field, the policy is not changing. I could not help but be concerned about the influence of special interest groups, of lobbying groups on our foreign policy, and as well on Congress, on the people that decide whether or not some of those shipments of arms get sent. The bottom line is that our politicians should not be profiting from war. And unfortunately, we have some institutionalized corruption that enables that. And as an American diplomat, my concern was U.S. national security interest. And I protested against this, and unfortunately could not affect enough change that I had to submit my resignation. That in particular, with my particular role as Arabic spokesperson, I explained that our messaging posture was hurting more so than helping us. Yet our messaging posture never has changed. We're still using the talking points directed to the Arab world, even if it's inflaming the tensions, even if it's instigating people across the region, even if it's making people across the region hate us more and be more frustrated with us because they hear the double standard. They hear the double standard when we condemn an attack on Israeli interests, but we don't condemn the death of Palestinians, only show concern. They're very, very in tune with these double standards, and it hurt us to continue to amplify these talking points. And it was very frustrating for me that there was the continued expectation that we would do that, despite all of the data, despite the clear proof that it's not helping America, it's hurting America.
I want to be clear that that is not the full interview. It's not even a succinct thought. I pulled different parts of that in a voice note and pieced it together because I couldn't play a 15-minute interview. So what are y'all thoughts on this?
My first thought is, well, no, Nana, go ahead. If you have something.
Go ahead. You were sorry.
It's something I feel like I've been noticing, but I haven't been able to quite put a finger on it. Is it just me, or does it seem like the Biden administration is like intentionally placing Black and brown folks as the talking heads for the fuckery, like since October 7th? Like, I don't know. It seems like all the spokespeople, the people who they have to go and talk about things. And I imagine I think her name is Hala. Of course, she's doing diplomacy work, and I think she mentioned the fact that I think she spoke Arabic, or maybe she is.
Yeah, she's the Arabic spokeswoman.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just something there. It seems like the Biden administration often puts Black and brown folk, a lot of times women, as the talking heads or the speaking piece for whatever policies or whatever they're trying to put out. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Just something that came up as you were playing the audio. I was like, I don't know. It just seems like it's never a white man up there talking about the bullshit. It's always a Black or brown person talking about what's going on. And I don't know if that's intentional on their part or if it's just me looking a little too far into the weeds. But have y'all noticed that? Have you guys noticed that at all?
I mean, Anthony Blinken is white. He's the
Well, yeah, he's a
Secretary of
Secretary of
State.
State. Yeah.
But I'll say that the Biden administration, I don't know if it would be crazy to hear this from a white man. It wouldn't land. The propaganda would not land as good. When I'm thinking about they know they have an election to win. They know that Black women are their base.
Yeah.
And so if Black women trust other Black women, which is why I think, what is the sister's name? Who, you know who I'm talking about?
Jean-Pierre,
thank you.
The UN ambassador?
No. She's the White House correspondent.
She's an example.
She's the press secretary.
Yeah.
I think it's all strategic, and they'd be a fool not to be strategic.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's like talking head stuff, but it's also like, I don't want to see a whole bunch of white men telling me. That's why I have a hard time trusting a whole lot of shit now.
Yeah.
But it's still evil. It's still, there's something, it's something gross about it. It's all strategic. It's not authentic. It's Drake.
I think that makes it more gross to me anyway. That makes it more gross that you had to go out of your way to find some Black or brown man or woman to go in and speak for you, speak whatever kind of atrocities or whatever foolishness you're trying to sell on us. Because people have to be able to see through that. I would hope people are seeing through that and aren't just eating that up.
She said that they are, but I also think that you can't have an Arabic spokesperson that's not.
Yeah,
no, that part I get.
Really
that
strange.
No, for sure, I get that.
To any Arabic
white Swedish
country.
Man. No,
exactly.
I get it.
I think it is clear that holding the role of diplomat, given the genocide and everything that's happening in Gaza, it felt you could hear the pain and the despair and kind of like hopelessness of what she was feeling. I think the sadder part, and I don't know if this is my like romanticism, is like there was sincerity in her trying to end the atrocities that are happening now. And my fear is with her, while I support her stepping down, or if this is a sign of protest against everything that's happening, who are they going to put in her place now to, broker these deals and try to have some sort of diplomatic end to this? Or are we just going to see more loss, more death, more bombing, more, like she talked about, the industries that are profiting over all of the horrible things that are happening here. And people are making copious amounts of money because of what is happening in Gaza right now. And some of them are our politicians who, have their own hands in a lot of these companies or these industries, and, are pushing particular defense companies in places to either be consultants or actually be on the ground there. And I can really appreciate her frustration with that. But now, are they just going to throw somebody who's also complicit and who also has, their own skin in the game and is profiting from the deaths of all these people? Like, it's so hard. That I feel the same way with people who are like, I don't want to vote, or I'm not going to be civically engaged. And it's like, if you walk away, that's just leaving room for other people's positions, what other people want. Like, these things don't stop affecting you just because you step down. I don't know.
So do you feel like she shouldn't have stepped down?
I wish she wouldn't.
Really?
I think it's unfair for me to ask that of her, because I don't know what this has done to her personally. I couldn't imagine being anywhere in the Middle East right now, seeing the despair, seeing, the refugees and other, like, this is not just affecting the Gaza Strip. This is, it's affecting all of the countries around there. Now we're having issues with Iran and Syria and Yemen. Like, this is just only going to grow. And so I think for her personally, maybe this was something that she needed to do, but I think it just, to me, it's like, well, what are we going to put in place now? Who is going to fulfill that role? Because it's not as if we're not going to have a diplomat fill this space. And are they going to come to this role with the same level of sincerity, with the same level of care, who are staunchly in favor of not only a ceasefire, but just like, we don't even need to be dealing with this all of this needs to stop. I don't know who's going to come in to replace her now. And I think that's a really scary thing to think about.
It's so interesting. I love, hold on, because I'm in the ghetto.
I'm 2 blocks away. I don't hear all them sirens.
Because I'm on the strip.
She's by where the hospital is.
Yeah, no, I know. You by the hospital.
Mess over here. No, I think that's such an interesting point, and I am trying to grapple with it because we give people a lot of shit for working in the Trump administration, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say they work in the Trump administration. You're like, why? I don't trust you. I don't this. I don't that. But on top of that, it's like, well, they didn't stop working. Like, what did we want them to do? Because their thought process was, I'm not going to leave because there needs to be safeguards.
Yeah,
there needs to be a stopgap. Somebody here needs to have a brain.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all this shit's about to crumble. And so many people in his organization said that. And we've accused them of being complicit. We've accused them.
Two things can be true at the same time. Yeah, they were.
It's interesting, but were they? Complicit. Like some people, think about the woman, up to a certain extent. I think about the woman on The View. I don't know why I can't fucking think about her name right now. She's also on CNN. Hold on. Because I love The View. The View hosts. What is her name? She's a Republican.
Talking about Bush daughter?
No, hell no. She's been going that little.
She's not even. Shows you how late I am.
I can't stand her.
I just know that was picking on my girl Whoopi all the time.
Anyway, I can't find it.
Picking on is a bit of a stretch. I don't think maybe picking. I know
I can't think about her.
Brunette. Yeah.
But and there was a point where she was like, "Nah, I got to get out of here. I can't deal with this." And I think it was unfortunately the insurrection. So she waited a long ass time.
Yeah, not the last day.
Right. Right.
Not the last possible day.
But her reasoning, her rationale was, I couldn't leave because I felt like if I did, no one would say no to him.
Yeah.
No one would stop him, which is why I stayed. And she's like, it's hurt me from a PR perspective. It's hurt me professionally.
Oh, yeah.
It's hurt me. And I have deep regrets, but I also don't, because I felt like I was serving my country. So it's like, I can understand why Hala would want to leave, because she's also like, I'm trying to serve my country, but it's like J. Cole. I'm a hip hop shit. He was like, this is spiritually not aligned. I'm not aligned.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I'm lying.
Yeah.
I gotta peace out. I'm not built for this. And she does say in the interview, because you two have not seen the full thing, I don't believe, but she says there were some people who were saying, yes, this reporting is what we need. Continue to give us this reporting. And she said it would go up the chain and then she would be silent. She would be pushed aside. And then somebody would try to bring her back in who was like trying, who's more progressive, who's like, yeah, this isn't working. Give us another report. Do this. And then she would be sidelined again. And she was like, so it was double speak. It was confusing. It was just like, you can tell that regardless of whatever we say or do, this country it has made its decision so far. Yes. And he just doubled down. Joe Biden just doubled down.
He's like on quintuple now. He's got to be on.
Well, even with the college protests.
Oh my God. I mean, and
they asked him, they said, are you thinking about changing your stance on foreign policy with these protests? And he said, no.
My nigga's trying to actively lose an election. I can't make sense of it. I don't get it at all.
People were talking yesterday when he had that press conference around the college encampments, And people were like, well, he should have said this 2 weeks ago. And I was like, it doesn't matter. He didn't say anything worth a damn. He could have kept that 3, 5, 10-minute speech that he gave us. It was completely pointless. And I agree with you, Obie, that like he's not doing himself any favors. To me, it's like, is this the sword that you're willing to die on? Is it? I know that
Asking
people
me or
talk
asking
about.
Joe?
No, I'm just like, I'm asking
rhetorical.
Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, okay,
it's
yeah.
very rhetorical because I'm just like, you can't, like, this is now not positively affecting your legacy. It's not affecting your campaign. You are literally handing this country over to quite possibly the devil probably sounds a bit too harsh.
It doesn't.
But and you're doing this on the behest of a country, like this is what we're doing. And I know that you guys you don't pussyfoot around this conversation, and I really appreciate that. But it's just like, I can't imagine how we could see what is actively happening, participate in it, see how it's affecting our voter base, and think that like we, even just if you wanted to be selfish and just do this for your campaign, say enough is enough. Like, forget the kids that are dying and mothers who are losing limbs and all that stuff. Let's say that you don't even care about that. But for your own selfish reasons, you want to win an election. You think that you're the only person that can save democracy, and you're still willing to participate in this genocide. For what? Like, what do you get out of this?
Israel is the lifeline for the U.S. in the Middle East.
In that region, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the
power. If Israel loses power, the U.S. loses power over there.
Yeah, and influence in the
influence.
We can't think that this
resources
is
that we're
that.
stealing.
Yeah. No, that's why, Naana, I actually disagree with you a little bit. I think that Hala and the young lady we were talking about who's in the view, anyone who is making a conscious decision to separate themselves from, from whatever level of injustice, or like they kind of just get to a point where like, I can't do this anymore. I have much more respect for those people trying to influence minds and hearts from the outside by kind of giving voice to power than being, in my opinion, pretty complicit by continuing to work under these people. I'd rather hear what you have to say on the outside and talk about what, the inner machinations, whatever was going on in the State Department that maybe we're not privy to here on the outside. And then maybe now that you've kind of been freed of that role, you might be able to speak to a certain level or extent that you never would have been able to if you're still working there. You know what I mean? So I actually think that these people who are either quitting out of a sign of protest or anything along those lines, I actually think that they hold much more power in whatever capacity, if they choose to kind of speak about that on the outside than by continuing to kind of play a role in it. That's my 2 cents.
No, I mean, I don't disagree with you that this gives them a lot more agency to speak about what's really going on and giving us information on that. But I don't know that it's fair to say that they're complicit if what Hala Hala says is true, that she is actively pulling reports together, showing statistics, and that this is what we think we're doing is not working. There needs to be another way. We have to I don't know what she's telling them, but whatever she's pulling up the chain that is getting squashed and derailed, I don't know that makes her complicit. But I also I don't disagree with you, and I think just on a humanity thing, like I think that it's important that people don't do things that are morally against them. But I also I mean my point still remains that I think that now we've just opened the door for somebody else who is going to fulfill this role, who doesn't have the same level of care, consideration, sincerity in this role, humanity in this role. And I mean that's
well, you're
not
making
to
a
say
big
that she's
assumption.
the only.
You don't know who's, you know.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But just thinking about if you have this person who is always buzzing, telling everybody that they're wrong, and now you decide to step down, wouldn't it just be a lot easier to put somebody who either agrees with you, is a yes man
no,
in
that's
that
fair.
role? And so, like, particularly with some, like, this situation is not going to go away. We're never going to, we're going to hit the election and we're still going to be talking about Gaza. We're still going to be talking about, unfortunately, more lives that have been lost, entire neighborhoods, people's homes completely flattened, obliterated. We're still going to be talking about that. And so, like, I think at this point, Joe knows that this is the monkey that's going to be on his back. And I can't imagine that he's going to want any sort of obstruction in this role that's going to do anything that a quarter of what she's been doing.
He's got bigger problems, but I hear you. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he's got bigger problems. I'll say this though. I've always thought that the idea of operating and changing systems from the inside, I've always thought that's bullshit. They say the same thing when it comes to cops. Oh yeah, no, there's good cops and we just really need them in there. That's bullshit. That doesn't exist. That's not real life.
But
like,
that
doesn't happen.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm trying. I hate to get so animated, but like I've always thought that is such fuckery. The whole myth of changing things from the inside, with the systems and structures that we live under, all of them, we know them, the white supremacy, patriarchy, all these things. Changing things from the inside does not work. That's just not how it just doesn't. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? What do you say then to someone? You're talking about systems and structures, right? How do we change those systems and structures?
We create new ones.
And how do you create new? We are not in a position. You, me, and Naana are not in a position to create. Let me just get this out. We're not in a position to create new ones, right? Right now. Maybe I don't have a big enough imagination, but I always thought that it was multi-pronged of like, there has to be activism on the outside. Mm-hmm. There has to be, because while we're trying to imagine something else, more system and structures are being built.
Right.
And again, there has to be some sort of stopgap, because how do we successfully organize and activate ourselves and collect ourselves while all of these blockades are being built if we don't have someone taking a brick down here, a brick down there? Because while we're talking about all of this, you know, there are certain things that are happening with Joe, right? I am not in favor of Joe Biden. Like, he's pissing me the fuck off. I keep saying, when I think about Joe Biden, I think about the Supreme Court. I think about the local judges. I think about like the appellate courts. I think about his cabinet. These are the things I'm thinking about.
Can I ask you something real quick on the Supreme Court? What happened when the Democrats tried to put our last Supreme Court justice in? What happened then?
You're proving my point. When we tried to put, because it was stopped by the Republicans, who we didn't have enough Democrats there to get to be able to get. Let me finish. It's not though, because here's the thing. Right now, if it continues to, if you don't play that game, you'll get run the fuck over.
Right.
Because if we didn't have Mitch McConnell in the position of power that he was in, if we had people in Congress that could have checked him, that could have stopped that power that he was wielding, we wouldn't be in this position. If we would have voted in the presidential election and maybe not voted third party, Trump would have never even fucking been in office to put those 3 Supreme Court justices up that are now lifetime appointees, that are now turning back the hands of time literally as we speak. So we are in a position that, yes, requires much imagination, requires much revolution, activism, all of the things. I don't think Hakeem Jeffries is the person that's going to solely get it done. I don't think Barack Obama is the person that's going to solely get it done.
It's never just one person, yeah.
I think collectively, right, there has to, I think money gets it done, which I can't wait for us to listen to the good folks about this collective tax protest.
I'm very curious about
I
that.
think money gets it done. I think civil disobedience gets it done. I also think laws and rewriting laws and demanding shit and not voting these fucking people back in, making it very clear I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Master's tools. Y'all know that. Y'all know that phrase. Master's tools will never, ever, 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 ever bring down the master's house.
Friend, you're reducing what I said to just the voting portion.
No.
And I said
I'm
a
not.
whole lot more than that.
No, you did. No, absolutely. No, but mind you, me bringing up that Audre Lorde quote wasn't just as a rebuttal or a statement on the voting. Trust me, and me and Nana have this conversation all the time. Shit, we work the damn polls. I'm over all this bullshit, but I'm there every election, working the polls, because hey, this is what we got, so you got to do the best with what you have. That's not lost on me. But I just think that when you think about, you were talking about just like energy is a finite resource. Energy, your bandwidth, your ability to put energy towards things, and I just feel like I personally would rather put my energy into, like you were talking about, the imagining or the thinking or the creating of new systems and new kind of paradigms than trying to double and triple down on shit that we know is not working.
Then that's what you do.
And is not getting us anywhere.
I think that's what you do then. And that's, we need it.
Yeah. But and I think you brought up a really good point, Antoinette, that multi-pronged approach. We also need the folks who are trying to do whatever it is they can do from the inside. I'm trying my best not to make this a black or white thing, because it's not actually how I think about it. A lot of the energy again from is just frustration with all this shit. But believe you me, I know that it takes a multi-pronged approach. It takes a lot of different people doing very different things for any liberation movement to work. But I think the energy I have that I'm hoping we get more of this year. I think we got a glimpse of it in 2020. I just think we need more fuck shit up energy. We need more disruptive energy. That's why I love what these fucking college kids are doing right now. Like that, as inconsequential as that might seem on the larger scale.
It doesn't seem inconsequential.
The fact that, oh no, I don't think it is. But I'm saying, like, it may sometimes feel that way. Like, oh, what are some college kids, holding up some dorm, in the middle of wherever. But listen, me and Nana talk about this all the time. We both love history. We're literally reliving the 60s right now. We're in the middle of the same kind of movements and same kind of energy that we had during that decade. And that was a big part of that. A lot of the student uprisings and protests.
It always starts with the young
opposing
people.
Vietnam. It does. And we got to listen to them, though. That's why I said the fact that Joe is doubling and tripling down on ostracizing what was a key demographic that got him elected in 2020 is beyond fucking me. I don't understand that math.
I think that's
illogical.
I think
It's
the
I
key.
don't understand that math.
I think the key here, because we have to go soon, because this episode about
sorry, because we'll talk about the politics all the time.
No, seriously, this is great. I wish that I just had to interview them at 5, and I couldn't ask y'all to come on at 5 as well.
No.
I wish I could have been on for that. The college protests, I want to say, are igniting things globally. You have Rutgers and you have the University of Minnesota, who have voluntarily disassembled their encampment after school leadership agreed to some of their demands. And continued conversations with protesters. One, to be completely transparent about their investments in Israel, and to talk to them about how to divest.
Yes.
So that is huge. Then internationally, you have colleges that are participating in protest encampments in France, in Italy, Australia, Mexico, Tunisia. And it's bringing awareness to it. It's bringing a sort of awareness global, where people are putting pressure on their governments. Hopefully the awareness is not just we want the university to divest. It's this is how you personally divest.
Yeah.
You do not shop at these XYZ places. We've had different resources that we've put in the description and everything else, and we can do it again. I could do some research and see if that list has been updated. But I will say, I think, and I will ask this question every fucking week until I come up with a fucking answer, which I don't think I will. How do we hold the Democrat, our politicians, accountable while still voting for them because we are terrified of the other side?
Yeah.
It's a rhetorical question.
Oh, okay.
It is. It is. Because it has to be right now.
Because Nana knows how I answered that question when we did our podcast a few weeks ago.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is on next episode we have someone that asks. We have a voicemail, and we're gonna table this for right now.
Okay.
For that voicemail, save that thought because I think the voicemail touches on that because they basically like, Antoinette, you kind of tripping, and I can hear that. I could be. Yeah. I'm open and willing to learn about this. So, again, y'all, thank you to Workbaes Podcast. No, I'm dead ass. Thank you to y'all because right now we've got the interview with the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee. The representative there. Shout out to Christy. Is it Christy? Lord. Take that out, Monty. Just take that out.
Just take that out.
Take out her name. Just keep the.
Oh yeah, because I heard you didn't pay your taxes in protest on one of the episodes I was listening to. Is that what we're doing? Because I did an extension. I won't turn that shit in if I don't need to. No, but I got a refund coming though.
You can keep that in, Monty. That I didn't pay. What I did do was we have a. You're gonna learn about refunds too, and how that is just a governmental loan to flip your money, to flip your fucking money.
It's true.
And fund their war. So there's different ways to combat that as well. Not everything they're doing is legal. They know that. Okay. They're with the shits.
Okay.
And they don't care.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, and I'm really, really excited to hear this because this is if we're talking about power, this is where
this is it. Montgomery bus boycott. This is where you get in a fucking pocket. My suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because we gotta go. My suggestion is a collective tax protests for folks who are scared to get locked the fuck up or deal with these fees. Is everybody next year what we finna do is say I'm filing for an extension.
Okay,
that's legal. I need an extension.
It is. Yeah,
if that is a large enough movement,
good
luck.
Yeah.
And then of course for pop culture, which seems minuscule, but it's a great distraction.
Oh, that's a hardship. Okay.
Is our favorite Sagittarius is back to talk about Kendrick Lamar versus Drake.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Back on the other side, guys. This was a great time and blessings. I'm very happy to say that I am joined by Christy Kirchhoffer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Christy is from the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee. We talked about that last week on the pod. And Chrissy, we have been, Shanti, my co-host, and I have been talking about the genocide in Gaza. For many years, we've just covered politics, covered the government. Our audience is activated. Our audience is a very smart, very tender-hearted, loving audience that is looking for options and solutions, much like Shanti and myself. And so I was Googling things out of frustration. And I should say that what prompted me to even Google was I posted a clip of our episode on social media, and I don't have the listeners, I don't have their name now, but someone responded and said, what we really need is a collective tax protest. And I was like, oh my God, whoa, that would be a game changer. And so I got on the Google, like, what? Has this happened in the past? And to my surprise, not only has it happened in the past? It's currently happening. And so I am just super excited to talk to you. I have some screenshots. I went on YouTube for the last couple of days and was looking at the different videos that you have on there. And I just want to pick your brain. I want to know, first of all, you're wildly courageous, because this is something that, to give you some background, I have reservation about. It makes me nervous. I'm like, wait a minute, everything that I'm taught is that you're going to go to jail if you don't pay your taxes. The IRS will absolutely figure out a way to get the money from you. You are playing with fire. And like, there's a saying, definitely in the Black community, that all I have to do is pay my taxes and die. And that's it. So it's like, it's up there in terms of priorities. So first and foremost, if you want to just introduce yourself, also give us a little background on you, and then I'd love to learn more about what the NWTRCC is doing.
That's all so beautiful. You kind of nailed it and like laid it all out there in terms of not only concerns you have, but as well as others, and as well as just people being awoken by the crisis in Gaza, and being aware that this suffering, impacts us all. And and so what are ways that we can take action? Definitely. So my name, you mentioned Christy Kirchhoffer, and I work with the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee, which is a mouthful, that we sometimes call NWTRCC for short. Yeah. And so I've been their outreach consultant for the last 5 years or so. And the organization has been around since 1982 in supporting people in taking this action, because, it is kind of a leap of faith that sometimes, we're all told death and taxes. And to take one of those out, is a little frightening. So, but we're a network of mutual aid that is people throughout the U.S. and supporting each other, and sharing information is a lot of what we do, keeping abreast of what's going on with people in the network. In the past, there was a lot more contact with the IRS, that people would have wage garnishments and things like that, but it hasn't been the case. But there is still that need for support and sharing information. So that's kind of what we do at NWTRCC. But tax resistance has really, been going on in throughout U.S. history, but really saw the modern day war tax movement come out of World War II. And so there were people, especially, at that time, then dropping the atomic bomb and like the calamity, and, that shared awareness of the suffering throughout the world, and that we were complicit in it. And so that following tax day, after the bomb was dropped, people began public actions to raise awareness that close to half of our federal income tax goes towards war making and war preparation. So,
and if you Google that, though, it's so interesting, because it says in 2023, defense spending only made up 13.3% of the federal budget. And it's like, well, where's that number coming from, and what are they leaving out?
Right. Good question. And like we're intentionally like kept from that information, and being able to say with certitude, like, no, this is about half of our income. So there's some folks who are involved with the War Resisters League in New York City, who every year come up with how much of our money is actually going to war. So, and
they're reading the bills, they're reading the spending bills and going through it with a fine-tooth comb to say, no.
Exactly. So feel pretty confident with sharing that information.
Got it. And so, okay. So the I guess the elephant in the room is this legal? Because for people who want to get involved, it's like, well, wait a minute. We're not paying our taxes. I know that because I've Googled everything and looked things up. I know a little bit that there are different ways to do this legally. They're kind of drastic. You have to lower your income quite significantly, right? And then it's like, well, how do I actually live, right? And then there's the illegal ways where it's really personal and you have to assess the risk based off of your own life, your own lifestyle, etc. So can you shed some more light on that?
Yes, definitely. And thanks for bringing that up, because that is an important point that we make from the get-go, and just saying that, some of this is illegal and is conscientious objection, and people, taking that intentionally, because we're very much about being transparent about our opposition and being very clear about resistance. So, there's a whole gamut of approaches the legal way is simple living and living under taxable income, which is around $13,000 at present. So, and then there's, different, going from there, then there's people who are resisting, intentionally writing letters to the IRS and telling them that they're going to withhold a certain amount of money when come tax time, and being very clear about that. But then there's also people, I guess that's kind of like the two ends of the spectrum, largely.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was also hearing on one of the YouTube videos that you have, that, let me go refer to my notes really quickly, that there's, I love this approach that, I forget the gentleman's name, but he was talking about, for folks who do work for a company, they do have a W-2, that basically, and if you do your taxes and then you're getting a refund, he was like, well, you want to try to make sure that you're not getting a refund, that you're just evening out. If you do want to take the road of playing it a little more safe, but he said that is still a form of resistance, because you're not giving the IRS a loan. Like, you're not giving them that money so that they can do whatever it is that they want to do with it, and then just give you your refund back at the end of the year, so that your money is not actually being used for harm. Is that, am I understanding that correctly?
Again, nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a video that NWTRC has on our YouTube channel that goes into detail about the W-4 resistance. So when people start jobs, they're often given a form to fill out the W-4, and with that, trying to figure out how much tax to be withheld. And so the video is about 10 minutes, and it really goes into detail and kind of approach how to do it. I started a new job and had to refer to it. It's great to have that resource there for people. And people are able to do this form of resistance throughout the year. So for different, people can change their W-4 form for any reason. So they can approach, somebody at their place of employment to change that.
Right. It's I think I said W-2. Thank you. I also, I'm curious to know for you, why are you resisting? What, or not for you, I won't make it specific to you, but for NWTRC, what are the pillars of the resistance? Because war is one of them, and war is the main one. And I think that I was looking at it as a very narrow view. And then when I saw everything laid out, I thought, oh my God, this is so much more vast and more encompassing than what I realized.
Yeah. And, I guess for each individual, they would have whatever motivates them to resist. I think part of it is within the network, reclaiming our imaginations outside of the grip of capitalism, and I feel like that is one of our most underutilized resources of our collective imagining, what is possible. And we're fed this myth of scarcity, that we don't have enough. We can't have education for our children. We can't have healthcare. We can't. Why is that? Well, it's because we're committing our resources to harm, harm the world over, and the earth itself, and so I think, really trying to just get that imagination and, and that synergy that happens when we put our minds and hearts together, and so that, you know, we're investing in what it is we want, what we believe in, what is of value to us. And sometimes it can, trying to balance that, those scales. You know, we're not just resisting, we're investing in what we love and believe in.
I'm smiling because I feel like my co-host, it's so unfortunate she's not here, because I feel like she has literally said that out loud. She talks about reimagining. We have to imagine something else for ourselves outside of capitalism all of the time. And so it made me think about her. I did see another woman. She was on Democracy Now! And she was a part of the network. And she was talking about how, you know, this was 10 years ago, actually. I think that was during the Obama administration. And she was talking about how instead of paying her federal taxes, she donates the money to local projects and local community centers and things that she believes in. And they were, you know, there was a lot of like, well, you know, Democracy Now! Is pretty progressive, but they were still, it was fear-based. It's like we're conditioned to be in fear. And so she was just pushing back and saying, no, they have not come for me yet. When they do, I'm prepared for those consequences. But she was explaining, like, my father was impacted by war. You know, my father was never the same. So I'm doing this for him, and he would be proud of me. I would rather these consequences that I might face than commit my life and my money and my life's hard work to this. So it was very interesting. I'm looking at the I took a screenshot of what was on the YouTube channel, because there was a PowerPoint and it said, why we resist military budget, border militarization and deportations, federal prisons, militarization of the police, impact of war on the environment, which we do not talk about enough, torture and war crimes, and the war in Gaza. I mean, it sums it all up. It makes me think about the Montgomery bus boycott. It's like, if collectively, if we all did this, there's not enough space to lock us all up. You know, you would literally bring the government to its knees, because it can't function. But what say you in terms of why we haven't collectively recognized that and activated and reclaimed our power?
That's a brilliant question. I think
and a hard one. I'm sorry.
No, it's beautiful. Thank you. Up for the challenge.
Like, can you please solve all of our problems? No. Let us know what's wrong with us. How do we uncondition ourselves after years of conditioning?
Together. I know that for certain. Yeah, collectively. And I feel like that we're on the cusp of something. I really have faith that, like, that awareness and consciousness is growing. And just, you know, I think a lot about the indebtedness that we're putting on our youth, and just not tolerating it. Like, I want to find ways to support, you know, that risk taking, but you know, it's beyond just, you know, student loans and breaking out of that debt mentality and pushing back and saying, you know, this is our inheritance and we demand more in some sense. So, I mean, and not to put that responsibility on, but I truly believe that we, you know, like the saying, in our lifetimes, like believing, like that is part of what motivates, in terms of, like, I want to believe that we can make these changes in our lifetime, and I want to live into that. You know, I'm tempted to say fight, you know, like I want to fight that way, but it's more than that. It's the stakes are so high that I don't know if that really answers it, but I do feel that we are on the cusp of big changes, because we are many and they are few that are, you know,
they
profiting.
are few.
Yeah.
And they are few. I think the quicker we realize that, the better off we'll be. Go ahead.
If I can just add to it too, in the balance and the weight that falls on the people of the global majority and the people who are so largely impacted by this and this warring, is motivation. Of all the things that we consume, despair is one that we can't afford. It's a luxury for us, here with this country of many privilege, but also much responsibility.
Yeah, that's really important. Thank you. When it comes to the actual protest and being defiant when it comes to our taxes, what are the actual risks? I mean, I have a list here. I can read it off. It says, salary or Social Security garnishment, bank account seizure, state refund seizure, interest and penalties, loss of health insurance subsidies, difficulty getting student loans, public lien that can affect credit, loss of passport for debt over $62,000. Reading that out loud feels daunting and debilitating, and it feels like slavery. It feels like I have no choice in this. Okay. It is what it is. And this all sounds good, but I have a family. I can't afford this risk. So, but you are doing it. So I'm just trying to understand, because I also saw on the YouTube videos and heard that this is actually very more rare than we realize, because the government actually, when they were coming down on people and doing this, it was getting so much publicity that they actually realized they were furthering the protest cause. So they stopped.
Right.
And just kind of said, we'll just keep scaring them, and they'll still be the few and we'll be the mighty. Is that true?
That is true. And I think, putting it out there that these are consequences that are possible, like that we want people to go in eyes wide open of the risks that they're looking or potentially could look at. But that hasn't happened. There's a graph, I think, in one of those that where there's when it has happened, and it's been really not since the late 1990s that any of this has taken place. And there's so many different reasons for that. There's been, budget cuts in the IRS. There's a lot of people retiring. So just a lot of loss within the IRS in terms of
they don't even have the manpower to find it.
Pretty much. Or and kind of shifting, there's talk of AI or different things, but I think it speaks more to how we've been conditioned. Like the IRS is this big, powerful force, and with taxes and everything. But that hasn't been the case. But it definitely, stating that is a possibility, and but that we're kind of conditioned to just kind of fall in line and just commit to this or be,
just commit to this way of being that is evil and unfair and unjust. Yeah.
And I think, you had touched on it too about it's not that we don't believe in pooling our resources and sharing. A lot of war tax resistance is committed to that redirection. So it's not that we're not, many people who do withhold taxes from the Pentagon then will invest that into their communities. And there's different alternative funds, largely in the Bay Area, where they have done that for decades. And I think, for me too, thinking beyond capitalism, it's also trying to what do we put our life force into? What do we put our life energy into? How do we bypass the commodification of, our passions in some sense? And I feel like that's a big part of it as well.
Got it.
But it is, it can be daunting or to hear that. But I think, we have a list of counselors or people who, for people who are new to this, to consult and to seek advice from. There's also a war tax resistance penalty fund. So they pool resources, for people who, our life circumstances change, things come up. And I guess once I was more involved with NWTRC, hearing from them, the people just take different approaches to vortex resistance too over years, you know, and so even if we try one approach at one time that works for us, things might change. And, you know, like to be flexible and adaptable, I feel like that's been a main lesson from the pandemic, wanting to take, you know, like, and into our lives of how do we be flexible and adaptable to the circumstances.
Yeah. I'm curious too. I also have a friend who said, well, because I was talking to them, I was prepping for this, and I was like, have you heard of this? And they were like, Antoinette, you're going to get, I love you, but you're going to get locked up before the end of your lifetime. And I was like, maybe. But they had asked, well, what if we all, what did they say? Oh, yes. What if we all just collectively decided one year, like, and said we're all going to file extensions? Like, what if we did that? That feels a little safer. It's still legal, but there's a hole in your pocketbook. Like, what if we really started that campaign now and said, come next year, everybody, this is legal, everybody join in, this is what we're doing. They'll probably try to change the law. But what if, you know, what if it was that approach? And what say you about that?
That's brilliant. That is, I want to get on board. And yeah. And I think, you know, we've been seeing this over the last months of people who similarly, like, kind of just Google, like, the connection to our taxpayer money and the devastation, the genocide in Gaza is undeniable. You know, you go to any rally and it's, you know, there's signs about this is our taxpayer money. And so, again, that awareness is rising. And I think people, you know,
there's an appetite for it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I hadn't mentioned, but we're the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee is having a conference this weekend, and some of it it's all online and people can register on our website. But one of the panel discussions is happening tomorrow. Is a couple of new groups of people who found this information and took it and ran with it, and set collectives and multi-prong approaches, and so they'll be given be on a panel tomorrow. But I think the more we can have people who are imagining and getting together and building that momentum, and you know, just keep adding to it, and I think that is like real power for people. I think we've seen some strikes over time, but like that's pretty much an underutilized tactic, or yet to be utilized tactic in some sense of the power that we do have, like as the workers, as the people who are producing, as the majority, really.
So this episode, I wish I would have gotten you last week. It's going to come out Monday. Will there be recordings? What are the ways in which that people can get more information, one, but also if they don't feel comfortable right now because of whatever circumstances they have resisting the federal taxes, how can they support, you know? Two questions there.
Yeah, great. And I think, you know, again, like the NWTRC, like I feel like one of the greatest assets is this collective knowledge that's been accumulated over 42 years. So people who are staying abreast of it have historical background, but also have support for each other. But from that has come just on our website so much information in terms of different things to incorporate, like how it impacts relationships, you know, to file or not to file, and such. So having people being aware of that information, but also like myself, I believe in the buddy system, or like that we don't do this work alone. And so like, you know, consulting and even just having conversations, and that we've seen a lot of that happening where people will just kind of self-organize and reach out to self-organize of interests like within their community, and then reach out to NWTRC to see if we can host a 101. We're happy to do that anytime, or point people to different resources or people. But there is a long list of counselors on our website, and of people who are, willing to share information. And I hope that answers it.
Yeah,
Was
no.
it too? Yeah.
That's amazing. Is there a way, are there other ways? Do you take donations? Like, is there a newsletter? What are I don't know,
Yeah.
a subscription that someone could, it's some way to support financially as well.
Yes, thank you. Great question. We do have a donate, a couple different forms on our website for people to donate. We have a paper newsletter that comes out 6 times a year. We also, do that electronically. We also try to do like a weekly blog post kind of talking about issues on war tax resistance. I think and have seen word really take off in last months, and so people on Instagram tagging us and collaborating and just
spreading the word. That's what we need to do right now, huh?
And I think with the tax season, I think Adrienne Marie Brown had said word on her. I know, right? And that really got in so many people's ears, and so in building that relationship, and sharing information, and I think there's a lot about war tax resistance that can feel daunting, but for me, it's also been so empowering, and I know it's only one piece of the puzzle, but and it's just drawn me into community in a tighter way that makes me realize how much I need community and sharing and how genius we all are, you know, and if we could just tap into our imagination and so many other gifts.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so courageous, for your dedication to community, for your imagination. We will definitely stay in touch. I'll be on the website. I'm definitely going to make sure that, that this episode will be out. Anyone that has questions, the website will be linked in the description for you to go. Again, it's the National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee. I'm going to say that one more time. National War Tax Resistance Coordinating Committee. And you just heard from Christy Kirchhoffer, right? Did I say it right?
Yes, you got it.
I'm saying more confidently. Christy Kirchhoffer. And I'll leave us with, I read this today. This is from Andrea Junker. And she said, if you've ever wondered what you would have done during the Holocaust, slavery, or civil rights movement, you are doing it right now.
Chills.
That's it, y'all. Thank you. And we will be back with pop culture after this. Pop culture. We're here. She said she was taking a break. She lied.
I came back. You can't hold me back when things like this are happening.
I should have told you no. I said no. You said you was taking a break. Go ahead.
And I came back prepared. Okay.
Wait, let me set it up. Something. Wait, let me set it up. If you are not on Patreon right now, your girl has on a full kung fu outfit to represent
Shaolin Shanti. Y'all stop playing with me for Kung Fu Kenny. That's my boo. That's my boo.
God. All right, let's go. Drake versus Kendrick. Sheila, I'm gonna let you take it away. Take it away. Take it away. Take it away.
Well, to be completely honest, and I don't know if we shared this in our prior episodes, I didn't know all this was brewing. I didn't know that the hate for Drake was felt all throughout the industry. And
that's a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you think that that Kendrick was sub-dissing a bit on Damn? Who did you think he was talking about on some of them?
I don't know.
You just was like, oh, that's a great diss.
I don't know.
Love you.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
but it could have been a lot of rappers. I don't know. I don't think about Drake. Drake's not in my I never think about him.
What about the control verse when Kendrick did the control verse and Drake responded to that when he was in his
I don't
feelings?
listen to Drake's.
No, he didn't. It
Oh.
wasn't on a song. Well, Drake's been sub-dissing Kendrick, but it wasn't on a song. It was he did like interviews about it and said that Kendrick had harsh words and that he saw him the next week or something.
I was not privy to
Wow.
this brewing thing between them.
Okay.
So when what's it called? Like That came out, I was just like, oh, what, for real? Oh, what's going on here? And then everybody, now all the clips and all the evidence and everybody's like, yo, fuck Drake. Like the industry collectively hates Drake. And then all these receipts are coming out of DMX and fucking even Kanye's in on it. I was like, oh, for real? To my delight. So I'm delighted, surprised, but delighted.
Do you know why they're mad at him? Like
because he's a poser, because he sub-disses, because he does weird shit. Like,
no, it's not just that. It's also now him. He has like, it's rumored that he and Taylor Swift were reached out to by some, I forget, I don't know all of it, by some big media label kind of conglomerate thing where they will somehow get paid off of everyone else's music, and that
Taylor Swift and Drake will be paid off.
Yes,
of
like
How?
Somehow it's in. I don't understand it. Bay was explaining it to me, and it made sense then. Should have had him on, but he was explaining to me. And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Yes, it's rumored that basically, like, Drake is not." He is not okaying certain features, certain this, certain that, unless there's like a certain cut that he gets, but the cut would be basically taken away from the other artists, and he's blocking people's money, and he's basically like becoming like this mastermind in the industry, and they're like, wait a minute, we the ones that help give you this street cred. We the ones that put you
You're
on.
Corny ass nigga, knowing that you was corny, knowing that you was uncomfortable in your skin. We saw and we put you on. Interesting. No,
this is not a hip hop podcast.
That.
I think
I did not know
you're
that.
going to speak to the spiritual though.
I will. I listen because I I don't know all those receipts and all those things, but I didn't listen to until today. I listened to Push Up. I didn't even bother to listen to
You
whatever.
never listened to Push Up?
I listen to no, I don't listen to Drake.
We're so biased. It's so bad. I
listened to it today. No, I listened to it today, but I didn't listen to the one where he did with Tupac and Snoop because absolutely not.
You hardly can because he had to take it down because Pac's estate threatened him.
I wouldn't even give it that play because that's just redunculous. So I listened to that today. And it was all in the air of, Drake dropping these two diss track, provoking him, just provoking the king, provoking the God. J. Cole,
but he was responding. We got to be fair. Drake was responding to what Kendrick said.
To do two back to back though, and then being like, come on, where is it at? The shit that he was posting, like I'm
social
waiting.
Media stuff.
Yeah, no, he was provoking him. But then J. Cole kind of, the whole thing with J. Cole overwhelmed the collective conversation. And I was like, is Kendrick what's he gonna do? Is he gonna take is he I didn't know. I didn't know what he was actually going to do.
Kendrick was going to respond?
I didn't know.
Oh,
I knew if he was going to respond, he was going to fuck it up.
I knew he was responding. There was no way he wasn't responding. He'd been waiting for it. Kendrick has been sitting. They said Kendrick has a fucking nuclear missile in the tuck, and he's had it for 4 years waiting for Drake. Kendrick is such a student of this shit. It's like, they said that what was his name? KRS-One had diss tracks for almost every rapper in the game. Just ready. Just in case they try some shit.
That's
like
crazy.
Kendrick has had this shit in the tuck waiting for this dude because he's been sub-dissing him. Because Drake's been doing funny shit. And Kendrick right now is hitting him with the jabs of like, do you really, that's why he keeps saying, do you really want to play? You really want me to come out with my shit? Because I will.
Euphoria. Well, first the AI thing came out, and I was like, that ain't him. Who the fuck is that? It couldn't be him.
Oh, you talking about Kendrick's AI? Yeah.
And then Euphoria came out. You know, similar. I think the first time when I like that, I was like, "Where's dick sucking lips, Ty Boho? I want to hear that kind of shit."
You was tripping.
I know. I still stand down. I still stand by that. I missed that. I love it. I appreciate it. It was. I don't care. Still stand 10 toes down in that. But this Euphoria was far less cryptic and far more direct than the like that, verse that he had. And I was just like,
Euphoria's so layered though. Really? You understood all of Euphoria right away?
No, but it was still a little. It was when he talked about his parenting. It was very clear. Yeah. Like it was like, oh.
I was gonna say you smart as shit.
Okay,
I was like, what?
Not. Absolutely not. It takes about 3 to 6 white boys reels to explain it to us what the fuck Kendrick is talking about. But killed him. Just that was what we wanted. Come on, Kung Fu Kenny. He came out, but then when he came out with "You Called Me Today" and was like, Kendrick dropped again. I said, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. I went to a cafe. When I was, I'm in Germantown, mind you. If you're in Philly, you understand the demographics of Germantown, although they're slowly changing. Gentrification is happening. Anyway, I went to a cafe. I heard like 3 people talking about it.
Of course.
3 people talking about it. Heard it finally.
That's all anybody was talking about.
I remember the summer that Takeover and Ether came out. Like you drive by, you just hear the fucking beat. And similarly, I heard Kendrick like in the cars, and I was like, "Wow,
Euphoria is the most streamed song right now." And to all the Drake fools, the stans, they were like, "Nah, this ain't it. This don't have no replay value," because they want to pop ass to it.
Which is so weird. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
It's a couple things. Okay. I don't even know how to organize my thoughts right now, but there's a couple things that I want to say about diss tracks. You don't have to pop ass to a diss track. That's number one. It does not need to play in the club. That's not the point. The diss is you come up with clever fucking ways to diss the shit out of the homie. Great wordplay, great rhymes,
and
great
accurate
beat.
Accurate critique.
It don't even always have to be accurate because not everything on Ether was accurate. Not everything on Ether was true, but we still fuck with it and bang with it because the delivery was crazy. Fine. This other thing of like, well, Kendrick didn't really reveal anything. Okay, I need to stop right there. Pusha T has set us up for wanting these diss tracks to be these revealing, like diabolical kind of tracks. And that's not what diss tracks were, in my opinion, or are. You don't have to reveal something new. That is an unfair ask. All you have to do is say the shit that maybe everybody knows, but in a fucking clever way to eat you the fuck up.
The power is in the restraint, actually. Because Jay-Z lost to Nas when he was like, yeah, that's why I fucked your girl. Everybody, you know what
super
I mean?
Ugly.
Then that's when you actually lose, when you spiral, when you be pushed to a place of like, you going too low, or the way that you're executing it does not feel like you have that cool, calm restraint that, I feel like Kung Fu Kenny is fucking him up. And to your point, he is setting him up. And to your point also, I feel like he got the set. Beyonce's team, I feel like Beyonce's like, Kendrick, do you need a little bit of help?
Why is Beyonce?
Because the Easter eggs, the symbolism, the things set. He has a team. He ain't coming up with all this shit by himself. Ain't no
Hold up. Let's
fucking
be
way.
clear. He might not be setting it up himself, but he is listed as the sole writer.
Right.
And that's important.
Sure.
Because Drake is not on push-ups.
Sure.
There's two other motherfuckers on there. And
Sure.
I think when you do a diss track and you ain't write it, you already lost.
It's terrible. It's
like,
embarrassing.
what are we talking about right now?
It's embarrassing.
Keep going though, Beyonce, because I see where
the
you're
Easter eggs, the multiverse that he's creating.
It's a Marvel movie. You had to wait for the credit to set up the next shit.
To your point, this nigga has been cooking and thinking about this for a minute.
The whole delivery.
For a minute. He has been like, okay, let me load this shit up. Because, and he ain't doing it by himself either. And you know what? I feel like, I know everybody's like, oh, Kendrick, I got to take lessons from Kendrick for hate. My take is that this is from a deep, it's loving what Kendrick is doing. No, I do not think that he likes Drake and he's like, oh, I want to see the best for him. But I think the way that he is coming at Kendrick, at Drake's soul and way of being and the quality of a person that he is, and the way he's piercing into this man's heart, he's ripping his heart open and letting us all see the contents of his heart, which must be Drake's nightmare, which must be so painful, is the most loving thing. And the scale that he is breaking this, it's an ego death. There's no turning back from this. There's nothing that Drake can say.
No, I want to talk to you about, so what I really want to do, and we don't have the time, is to go through Euphoria and just talk about all the just double entendre, triple entendre, quadruple entendre shit that's in it. Also in 616, but there's not time for that. I'm sure Dissect Podcast will do it. They have already announced they will. And I encourage everyone to go listen when they drop, because that white guy is a brilliant genius.
He loves
nutcase,
Kendrick.
and he loves Kendrick, and he's stopping his series to do this shit. But anyway, I love where you're going with that, because I was sitting here thinking to myself, even on Euphoria, where he's, like you said, he's coming for his way of being, the way he's living his life. He's coming for his soul. He's coming for that he's caught up in this matrix. The Lucy got you, Drake, and I'm past that. I made it, bro. I'm here living a peaceful life. But this is spiritual warfare. He's sitting here saying, I'm living peacefully. But if you calling me to war, that's biblical shit. If you calling me to war, I'm fucking ready.
Yeah.
He said, I'm the Elohim.
Yeah.
I'm God in Hebrew. You hear me? I am godly. I'm spiritually aligned, which is why all this shit is aligning, which is why 616 and all this shit is all making sense to motherfuckers, because it's a spiritual alignment over here. That's why you're flailing. But real fast, the other thing is, like, at this point, Drake, it's like he's setting them up to be like, repent. Get on your fucking knees. Repent. Shame. Shame. Confess. All you got to do is confess. It's Game of Thrones. Confess.
We see
confess.
You.
And she keeps whipping her ass. Confess. Boom. Confess. No, and until you humble yourself and get down on your knees, take off all the jewels. It's Game of Thrones.
It's not Cersei. It's spirit. It's deeper than that. This is what makes Kendrick an artist, because he has been grappling with every single album has been Kendrick grappling with the Lucy in some form, whether it's him trying to get out the streets, whether it's his, survivor's guilt, and now he has his money and he has imposter syndrome, whether it's the infidelity and him being a better man. That's what fuels his art. That's what his life's about. He is in touch with his dark side, and he's like, This is what I fucking do. This is what the meaning of life is for every fucking body. This is, and you're not tapped in, you're not being honest. You're at the core of you have no authenticity. You're a puff, you're a ghost of yourself. You're nothing. Find your purpose. Find yourself, bro. Cause you are becoming, you're in the dark side, nigga. Like you are. What's that? Who's the one that in Star Wars where he became the
Darth Vader?
You're Darth Vader.
Damn.
You chose the wrong side. Now you are dangerous. Now I have to kill you because you have chosen the wrong side. If he's doing this weird industry stuff and he's like deliberately doing that, he's dangerous. And all these niggas see it too. Like you're dangerous. And then doing it with in blackface, he is dangerous. And you gotta go. You gotta go. You are Lucy made manifest. You're bad. You're bad.
He said, I got a son to raise, but I can see you don't know nothing about
You
that.
don't know
Waking
about
him
that.
up, know nothing about that.
About
And
that.
you realize nothing about that is from Drake posted his son, a video of his son, and his son was saying that. That's why Kendrick's saying that like that. He's mimicking his son.
Wow.
You know nothing about that.
Damn.
Like it's sick over there. He is a menace. He's diabolical, yo. He said waking him up, telling him to pray, giving him tools to walk through life like day by day, teaching him morals, integrity, discipline, speaking the truth, and consider what God's considering. Listen, he's coming at
it's the most loving thing anybody could do for Drake.
There it is. There it is.
For real. And Drake,
Sometimes
repent.
Sometimes you need your ass whooped.
You need to hear the truth. It hurts. Die slow and be reborn. Baptized.
That's it.
You get baptized.
That's all it is.
It's a baptism. You gonna be okay?
That's all it is.
Get clean with yourself now, because you're dangerous.
Unwell.
He's dangerous. You're unwell, and you lost, and you called this in somehow, some way, Kendrick. This is what you've been wanting for your whole life, baby. And you fucking with
for
the right one.
Somebody to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick sees him.
I'm out of control.
I see you.
I'm in pain. I'm
hurting.
Fucked up. I'm hurting, and I'm actually dangerous now. He's like a Diddy. It's like you go so far dark. It's like, oh, now I'm not compassionate anymore because you're actually consciously choosing to do weird shit.
He said you must be a terrible person. Everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it.
Damn. And now he got a paranoid?
Right. And that's like the chess game. Now you got Drake sitting like Martin at the table with the dog talking about who took my fucking CD man. You know, like now he looking over his shoulders. Like, hold up.
Boxer with God. You really don't.
That's scary.
Drake. Ain't no turning back from this, baby boy. Say my bad.
I think too, when it comes to Drake, I guess that's my question. I was listening to fucking DJ Academics. I can't stand him, but I wanted to hear what he had to say because I like to see what the ops have to say. And he was talking to Charlemagne, and Charlemagne and them were talking about how does Drake come back, because they're thinking that Drake is not really down that much. One, Academics doesn't think Drake is down at all. That's who. Obviously, I can't see the vibe. I can see the vibes on Ack. Even he looking compromised. Let's peel the layers back. Like Kendrick is already peeping game, and even some of what's crazy to me. I'm digressing. But what's crazy to me is a lot of these lyrics are in. Yes, he had the ideas in the tuck, but a lot of these lyrics are actually in response to what is happening currently and to what Drake said. So dude is writing this shit in real time, which is really blowing my mind, because I'm like, how? 17 days for this? No problem, my guy. It took 3 months to get Ether. Shut the fuck up. Y'all are weirdos. You don't know what you're talking about. Hush. But when I think about what all Drake can do if he doesn't get on his knees and repent and live his life righteously, and because it's like Drake is 37 years old, I believe. what you gonna keep rapping about? The same shit? Like you still gonna be doing the same shit?
And you know
Bro,
it's killing
stop.
you. It's killing you.
It's killing you. He don't know where to go. So it's like, if he wants to respond to Kendrick, I just feel like he has to either repent or he can go the Lucy route.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying he got a red button. He gonna hit that red button. If you got some shit on Kung Fu Kenny, that's the only, you have to now reveal some shit. Cause I just don't think that you coming back and saying that you got more money and more bad bitches, you're literally playing. Kendrick he's already
told us.
But he's already told us that, and he's already big jokered all of your rebuttals, because he's saying the shit that you're worried about, I'm not worried about. It don't mean nothing, boo-boo.
Because my soul's right.
Because my soul's right.
And I've already revealed it to the world.
He negated everything that Drake could say, unless Drake has dirt. That's it. If Drake has dirt, fine.
And if the dirt that he has, anyway, there's a theory. Anyway, no,
there's a theory.
He wouldn't even say that. There's a theory. If you listen to Dissect, there's a theory that Kendrick has killed somebody, that he has a body. And if you bring that up, that just makes you look like a lame. Like you just look crazy if you like say anything about that.
Also validate the fact that Kendrick is actually that dude, been in the streets.
Yeah.
And it actually makes him look better that he's actually changed his life around.
Yeah.
You realize that on this new one, 616 in LA, that it's survival. That's a Drake song, Survival, where he's talking about surviving the streets. Drake. And then Kendrick follows up with, I think somebody lying. It's like, we know that this not you. Go back, make us dance. It was cool. I fuck with it. I fuck with you making me dance.
But you know what? He wants to be an artist. And I don't know if you watched the Gerard Carmichael, the most recent one, but he's inviting his friend who wants to be a comedian. He was like, you'd be good if you would tell the truth. You'd be good if you were coming from a place of real honesty. And I think that that's what Drake, you could be good. You're intelligent enough. You have enough taste. If you would have just been your fucking self. Like, Drake also is a child star. Like, that's a weird world to come from. I don't know. There's not to say he doesn't have pain that wouldn't have been validated, but you just, that ain't you, bro. It ain't you. Just just come from an authentic place. The truth shall set us all free.
It's interesting.
We'll see. A lesson to us all, for real.
But at this point, Drake has been scolded by his father. He has. 6/16, Father's Day. 6/16 is the day the O.J. Simpson trial started. 6/16 is the day that Nicole Brown Simpson was laid to rest. They've been equating Drake as a white woman. You can put it together. I know people don't like it. It's a rap beef. Shit happens in rap beef.
Not a white
6/16 is Tupac's birthday. 6/16, go look up the scriptures. 6/16 is a lot now. And then to successfully do a drive-by on a fucking, who was the sample? Why am I forgetting? Green. On an Al Green sample. And the first one was
Teddy Pendergrass.
And you know they had a fucking dual album called Back to Back, right?
I'm telling you,
back-to-back hits.
They've been thinking about this.
This is what I'm saying. Like, and then to do it on the Al Green sample, I think it was Drake's fucking uncle played the guitar on the song.
He had time. His team had time.
He violated.
You
don't
box with God. Just surrender.
Just say sorry. I'm sorry.
That's his guru. Let me keep teaching you. So I've been through this. I'm going through it. I can help you. Oh,
I don't know. I don't know what happens next. But Drake, all of Drake's team is saying he's dropping. And we'll see. What I don't want is to hear some shit about Kendrick that's going to upset me. Where I'm like, no. I think what Drake is going to do.
Stop yelling, please.
I think what Drake is going to do is that Drake is going to come back and say some shit about him talking about he's living righteous, he living spiritually sound, but you was fucking white women. You calling me a white woman, but them white bitches was in your bed. I think it'll be a bunch of stuff
We
that he
already
pulls
know
from
it.
Mr. Morale
Yeah, we already
and the
talked
Big
about it.
Steppers.
Yeah.
But I think Kendrick has some shit on Drake like, yo, you been in 14-year-olds DMs trying to fuck.
No, Drake is.
And
It's
I got
tricky.
another theory. What if J. Cole is the bowl? What if J. Cole is the motherfucking one
That's
in the
the
camp?
great. That
It's
makes
like,
the most sense.
It really doesn't. But that's hilarious.
No, I think I think I could have really I could imagine that J. Cole been like, yeah, man, I was tripping. I was on the like, my
Oh,
bad.
no. That's a lot. That's a lot. I
That's
don't
a
know.
good one. I love that theory, and it feels very plausible,
I don't know.
possible, and plausible. Anyhow,
Look at her. Kung Fu Kenny.
I love him. I love him. This is all he talks about. This is all he like. Oh, you want? This is what I do. This is what I think about. This is my life. This is my life's purpose. To Pimp a Butterfly makes so much more sense to me now. Even so much more sense. But
Trifecta, money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure. Yeah. Like Drake, I want to ask Drake, when do you feel free?
Are you okay?
When do you feel sound? Are you all right?
No, he's not.
And I
What
and
are
I
you
know
hiding from us?
I know people are gonna say that we're biased, and we are, but we can't get out of here without talking about that. The whole you can't say nigga, because that's important, because people are misconstruing that. But I do want to say, like, I was making
You
a different
said we
point.
can't say it.
I don't often say it. I will say, and they were like, well, J. Cole is white and black, and Ebro is white and black, and this person's white and black. I get it. And I don't think Kendrick's girl is white and black, so I think y'all are off there. I think she has a white and black parent. But anyway, I don't think that he's not talking about the race. And as two biracials, I think it's important that we make that clear. I don't think Kendrick is saying if you have a white parent, you can't say nigga. I think what he is saying is that nigga can't say nigga.
Which I think is
Because you
hilarious.
are a phony. Right.
I think it's funny. And
You are unqualified because you are a culture vulture. He's Kim Kardashian him. You can't say it. This is not your shit. Don't come to LA. Don't act tough. Don't do none of that shit. Okay? Make us dance. Stop sub-dissing me. Don't bring up my lady. And we'll be good. You and your owls will be good. Tricky. I don't know, Shanti. I don't know if you could say it. I know that hurt you. I know you were that sent you. Shanti was texting me like, "Can we say it?"
She was stressed. I think it was funny. Like, we can't say nigga no more.
I don't say it like you. You was out here like, no. Listen,
not the nigga word being taken from the biracials. Oh, they want us to feel so excluded. They just want to isolate the biracials. They just want to keep us on the margins.
Biracials down bad though. We look crazy. We look crazy. What
other biracials fucking up?
All of them. They all be messing up.
It's tricky.
The only ones that don't mess up, I feel, is right now Ebro and Zendaya.
Tia and Tamara.
They are so. All right, that's done. I don't want to say
Barack Obama. Yeah.
Nah, yeah. Barack. Y'all be hating on Barack
bombs
too.
on people, right. But he do it like.
Yeah.
Barack Obama. There's a clip of him picking Kendrick over Drake. Anyhow, biracials, us mixed up people, we're gonna figure it out, okay?
Or not. I don't know. Let's leave with predictions. What do you predict is gonna happen?
Drake is not going to confess. He's going to probably I don't know if he can come back from this. So it's like his career is on the line in a lot of ways.
No.
I don't know if he can come back from this.
You can't be on social media. You can't see the fact
Or people
that
are really
so
rooting
many
for him.
people are rallying around him saying
Really?
Kendrick's songs were corny, that we are reaching with all this symbolism.
No. What I'm saying is this: they're saying that, but Kendrick has penetrated and wounded him in a way that Drake is not the same. There's no way that he's the same person.
Nothing was the same.
For real.
I hear you.
He's not the same person. How does he recover from, unless he really chooses evil, then he becomes a really evil person, because
he already is. He already is. He's already doing diabolical shit. He's already taking people's girls, flying them out, doing weirdo shit. He's paying people to get intel on people coming up blank. He did it to Pusha T. He's a weirdo.
Underage. My theory, and y'all, did I say this on this podcast?
You said it a long time ago.
He does weird shit like that. Like, it's dark over there. It's weird over there.
I saw a tweet that said Drake made a diss track for us. Kendrick made a diss track for Drake. And the person who will listen to Kendrick's diss track the most is Drake.
And eat him alive.
And just eat him the fuck up. My prediction is that Drake comes back, maybe with some fabricated shit, maybe with this on a club beat where he tries to win because men want to throw their ass now to diss tracks. Scotty said that, not me. I read that and was like, that's it. She was like, what do we talk about? Why do niggas want to throw their ass to fucking rap beef? Like, what are we doing? Okay, fine. I think that happens. I think that Drake penetrates. I don't think that Drake drops music that's unlistenable. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not talented when it comes to performance, because he's not writing. So I'm not going to say creating a track or rapping. But I think then Kendrick comes back and absolutely murders him. He murders him. The guy that I'm dating, I said, what do you think Drake does? And he sent me a clip of someone pulling out a gun and just putting it on the table. He was like, that's all he could do. He either use it on himself or use it on Kendrick. There's no coming back from this, because the real ones know. And he knows that the entire industry, who are real ones that really do this shit, are looking at Kendrick's diss tracks and are like, God damn, bro.
He called himself into this is a crossroads for him. This is a serious deal for Drake now. I'm telling you, he took it to a soul level. Like, this is it. This is
spiritual warfare.
It's spiritual warfare. What are you going to do, Drake? Save yourself. Humble yourself. Free yourself. Free yourself. It's an ego death. You've been wanting this. You've been calling this forth. Surrender. And let God do his thing. Let God work through you. You ain't living right. What an opportunity you're offering us all to see. Surrender. Be the object. Be the tool that God wants.
Let him use you.
Let him use you. Let him use you. For real. And maybe you will create the art and you will be the person that you really want to be.
You know what? We say that, but people hated on J. Cole when J. Cole did exactly that. And we loved it. But you know how many people are still mad at J. Cole? And I'm like, nah, like, you got to realize that J. Cole did the right thing spiritually. Because I was reading this stuff, going through these lyrics. I'm like, what the fuck would J. Cole have said to Kendrick?
I'm telling you, J. Cole.
You don't believe it.
No. J. Cole, and that's the biggest point. Stop worrying about what other people think.
He's riding his bike somewhere in New York. That's all he do. You see him all the time. He riding around Midtown, just winding his fucking hair, AirPods in, freed up, t-shirt, jeans.
Yep. Taking care of his family, trying to live a peaceful life, trying to just obey God. For real.
No, I'm
God will
serious.
have you out here like they're gonna laugh at you.
Kendrick on stage dancing with Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is now beefing with Ice Spice. Ice Spice did you even, I know you ain't see that. Ice Spice did fucking reveal some shit about Nicki. It was like, she's
being a
horrible.
mean girl. Yeah, she's a mean girl. And you want to be on stage with her? Those are people that you want to be with? Free yourself, bro. Free yourself. This is an opportunity.
You don't
Let your
want me,
Adonis
don't
needs you
talk
to
me.
see be an example to that
Yes.
child.
Yes.
Be a man. Follow your heart. It's in your heart. You are, everything that he said is nothing that you already don't know, Drake. You're tormented. Free yourself. Because we all see it.
All
and
right.
let them demons out in the right way. Okay? It's an exorcism as well. Like oh Lord.
Oh God. All right. Well, look in the mirror.
Y'all.
That man in the mirror.
Let it
What
be
would Mike
to
do? What would Mike do?
What? I don't know if that's the.
That's what Kendrick.
Mike Tyson.
I got the lyrics.
I
up.
would say, well,
that's
Mike
what I was
Tyson
Googling.
do. Look up
Mike. Well, he's tricky over there, but I love Mike Tyson.
No, Mike Tyson has gone through. He has engaged with his dark side as well. These men been tussling. He tussles.
Last thing I gotta say, I be at New Ho King. It's so crazy. That's where that is where Drake got robbed in 2008. That's why he said it. It's in Toronto. And then the fucking place is called New Ho King. God has aligned this for Kendrick. It's too easy.
I'm telling you.
It's goofy over here. It's too much. Anyway. DMX told us. Everybody been telling us.
Drake has been telling us. Drake wants us to know. Help me. He is the nigga behind the John. What's it called? In the Wizard of Oz? What's that called?
The Wizard.
The Wizard. Was it?
Not you said in the Wizard of Oz. What's that thing called? The Wizard.
He was the Wizard.
That was exactly what the beginning of the track was. All right, I got Naana and Obie on the other line. They want to start recording. Bye, shorty. Okay, y'all. Full episode, lots of guests, lots of people, more in store with Workbae Pod. Next episode, we are going to get into the nitty gritty. I have a ton of different people lined up. I'm very excited about. You may hear from Dustin. You may hear from Fran. You may hear from Ole. You may hear from Mandy. You may hear from Joelle. These are all people you may hear from.
Listen to that lineup.
I don't know. We'll see. Okay? Stay tuned. And with that, we are out.